Most people see their home as a place to live. House hackers see their home as a tool to build wealth. Hello, everyone. Today we're back for another topic of Fridays with Flo, and we're going to be talking about how to house hack your way into financial freedom. If you're paying 100% of your mortgage by yourself, you might be missing out on one of the most powerful wealth building strategies available. Most people spend decades making mortgage payments every month. House hackers take a different approach. They use real estate to reduce their housing costs, build equity, and create a foundation for long-term wealth. So today we're going to be breaking down exactly how that works. So the number one thing to kind of go over here is, what is house hacking? This is a way where most people get to live in a property while renting out part of it. And so if you are okay with roommates and renting out the rooms in your home, then you might be able to find a way to not have to pay a dime in contributing to your mortgage payment. People might choose to purchase a duplex, triplex, quadplex. Those are multifamily properties that can be purchased with residential traditional financing. So traditional financing is financing much like FHA loans, conventional loan, VA, USDA. You can use those mortgage loans to purchase a residential investment property. That's right. So if you're using a FHA, that means just 3.5% down, and you get to own multiple doors and rent out those places. Now, for many people who just bought a single family home, you can still house hack. This would just mean renting out the room versus much like a duplex or triplex or quad, where you would rent out each apartment and take advantage of that. There are people who may have what they call an ADU, otherwise known as additional dwelling unit, which is where you have a little mini apartment behind your home in your yard. So just a studio or a little one bedroom that also comes with the bathroom, and you're able to rent that unit out. Maybe you have a fully completed basement and it also has a bathroom down there. There's just so many ways people today are able to tap into house hacking. And so again, it's one of the easiest ways to start in the world of real estate investing. You don't even have to have extra money or need to leave your home. Right there in your home, you can start making money. So the second thing to talk about here is why house hacking works. Well, it reduces housing expenses both for you and that other person. In areas where the average one bedroom, one bathroom is renting somewhere between $2,000 and $2,500 a month, most people would be much happier paying for a little studio apartment or that is attached to somebody's home that is also a one bedroom, gives them access to their own private bathroom for $1,000 or $1,500 a month. Anything that competes a lot better than the going market rent for a one bedroom, one bath. And so this would help you cover your mortgage expenses. It might even help you add extra money in your pocket if it's surpassing what you actually need. And maybe you're looking at it from an angle of where you're only contributing half, or maybe you only contribute 25% of what's left on the mortgage, or none, depending on how many rooms and how many units you get to rent out and what your mortgage payment is. Overall, this does help you build equity while lowering monthly costs for you. So I think equity is one of the most powerful experiences that a real estate investor gets to have, which is where somebody's paying your mortgage for you every month and pretty much paying down your mortgage loan, thus meaning that you are building equity in the home. This is money that you get to cash out on when you sell that house. So the third thing to think about here is that house hacking isn't just for multifamily properties. As I mentioned, this can happen for a single family home, a townhome, a condo. So long as you have multiple bedrooms, this works, because essentially, as mentioned, you are renting out bedrooms, basements, guest houses, those ADUs, the additional dwelling units. Multifamily properties just make it so much easier because people get their own full-on apartment. But even then, there are so many people that are just fine with living with somebody else, so long as they have access to a bathroom and their own private bedroom. If you are located near like colleges and universities, student housing, students are really comfortable. They're kind of used to renting a room with another person and having a roommate. So that's something else to consider as well. So, I mean, some of this can't kind of just be laid out before you without at least talking about the fourth item here, which is the biggest concerns to think about. Privacy concerns, whether it's for you. Of course, this might make sense for you if you're alone, but I have seen where a couple have done it with their child. It just completely depends your comfort level and the other person's comfort level. But privacy concerns is one to consider. Living near tenants. I mean, not everybody's comfortable with this situation here. Now, everybody should always be vetted, because even if you were moving out of the home and you were renting out your home, you would still vet that person and care about who is living in your home. So it would be the same thing of the person that you're living with. And the rules are kind of different when you are living in the home versus when you're not living in the home. When you're not living in the home, you have to adhere to fair housing laws, such as not discriminating towards race, gender, sexuality, nationality, all sorts of things that you have to abide by. Whereas if you're living in the home, you kind of get to choose the gender. You get to choose kind of who you want to live with as well, to add that extra level of comfort. Sharing a space with somebody, because there's going to be common areas that you're sharing, such as the living room, dining room. It might help for you to be a people person to share, to pursue this house hacking experience. But I mean, it's again, a powerful tool to build wealth and pay off your mortgage if you are comfortable with it, even if it's just for a few years, even if it's temporary. I mean, our last episode was how to pay off debt while building wealth. This right here is a powerful way for you to have your mortgage paid for if you're in a season where you're trying to pay off debt. So check out that last video and loop this conversation here in that process for you if you are on that journey to financial freedom. And so the fifth and final thing to talk about here is the long-term wealth play. You can, in the future, move out and keep that property. You may also convert it to a rental or just repeat the process over time with house hacking. Many people might purchase the first home, do the house hacking experience, and after a year or two, they move out and leave the tenants in there that are already there and purchase another home with traditional financing. You know, let's just say 5% down payment on that next home. They are going to live in that home as their primary home and do the same thing. Build your roommates and your suite mates and your, the house hacking tool. Continue to do that maybe for another 12 months. Most mortgage lenders, they don't necessarily want to lend to you under 12 months because they typically allow you to purchase a home at 3.5% down or 5% down under the assumption that this is your primary home and not an investment property. If you live in the home for at least 12 months, then you are able to bypass this whole primary home thing. After 12 months, you can purchase another home using FHA loan or conventional loan and not necessarily worry too much about fitting into that box where they're going to question, are you buying investment properties here? And so if you are looking to just buy an investment property outright, then you're going to have to put more like 20% down on that investment property. But this that we're talking about here, the house hacking, is a very nice loophole to build your portfolio of investment properties. All right. Now, in closing here, I want to just highlight that most people see their home as a place to live. House hackers see their home as a tool to build wealth. And so I want to leave those thoughts with you. If you have any thoughts on this house hacking, is this for you? Would you ever do it? I want to hear from you guys in the comments, and I'll see you guys next Friday for another episode of Fridays with Flo. Bye.